Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina episode. I am so excited because I have a couple of first responders that will be guests today. One of them comes from the Lancaster Police Department. I have got a canine who it's going to a lot of fun, let's just say that. And then I also have somebody coming from the Fairfield County Sheriffs Office, and he's going to talk about his career as well. So it's just going to be a full show of, you know, highlighting first responders in the law enforcement field. So what better can you get than that? I'll be right back. It's Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Bay Food Market is Fairfield County's source for high-quality, locally sourced meats. The meat case is always full of quality fresh beef, pork, gourmet burgers, and gourmet brats for you and your family to enjoy. Bay Food Market cures and smokes their own hams, bacon, and sausage. Visit Bay Food Market at the corner of Maple and Walnut Streets in Lancaster and discover the Bay Food Market difference. Open daily 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed Thursday and Sunday. Bay Food Market, proudly serving Fairfield County families for more than 90 years.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. My Officer of the Month is brought to you by Bay Food Market. However, we've got two this month, and I'm really excited to have with me now from the Lancaster Police Department, Officer Austin Pierce, and he has along with him, it's my canine special, so Canine Omega.
Yep. He's pretty great with the canine special. He's a 2-year-old Belgian Malinois. He was imported from the Netherlands. We went through canine training at Shallow Creek Kennels in Pennsylvania. We went through 6-week basic training starting last year. So we officially graduated from the canine basic training January 28th and then have lived together ever since.
Really, really. So did you know when you became a police officer and went into law enforcement that you would end up having a canine?
Absolutely. That was my aspirations. I started out at the Sheriff's Office, and at the time, Lancaster Police didn't have a canine program. Mm-hmm. And the Sheriff's Office, I grew up in Fairfield Union School District and lived there my entire life, so the Sheriff's Office was kind of my dream. And then Canine Malloy was the canine there, and his dog was fantastic. And so it just bred me wanting to be the canine off. And so they had the goals. They're transitioning chiefs at Lancaster Police, and I love the vision. I spent a lot of my time at the Sheriff's Office inside the city, where I always got a bunch of grief of I'm a county employee, not a city employee. But with the vision that Lancaster Police between Chief Snyder and DC Tolley, they both wanted canines pretty bad, so I knew that it was probably going to happen, so I made the switch and was blessed enough to become a handler.
Nice, nice. How long were you with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office?
4 years.
4 years, okay. I know he's ready to just take you in the chair and everything, I think.
Yeah.
So you said 2 years, so he's got a lot of puppies still in
him.
Yeah.
Yep, he'll turn 3 in June, but his breed is already a high drive, and he is a very high drive dog, especially when that ball is in play.
Are all canines the same breed, Officer Pierce?
He kind of pulled them up.
He did take the whole thing off of you.
Nope. So through our, off. You'll get it. A lot of them are between. Look at. Here. Off.
Hey, you know what? Animals on you just never know, right?
Aww. Off. A lot of ours, we wanted the Belgian Malinois in our system just because they are such high drive. They're well-disciplined dogs. They're so high energy, but German Shepherds make phenomenal police dogs because they're a little bit more calm. They're more methodical. They think out the process. where the Belgian Malinois just sees the task, and I always say it has one brain cell, but it uses that one brain cell very well. A lot of OSP's dogs and a couple other agencies are going through like German Short-Hair Pointers, but those aren't like apprehension dogs. Those are just narcotic dogs.
I was going to say, what is the difference of what the use of them for?
A lot of the Malleys and the German Shepherds are dual-purpose dogs a lot of times, whether it's explosives or narcotics. They're still putting patrol on them so they can be used for tracking and apprehension, so building searches. And they're agile, and that's another advantage of having the Malinois is they're smaller, so they're a lot more agile. But when you can do Black Labs, the German Short-Hair Pointers, they're just great narcotic dogs. They're used to hunting birds, so they're just naturally they're hunting that scent still. Oh, Les.
And he loves his ball.
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
the
exactly
ball is life, so it's very cool how there's thousands of different ways to train the dog on narcotics.
Yeah.
But Shallow Creek, they put the drugs inside a hollow ball, and they try to find it, so they build that ball drive. So when they are searching narcotics in like a car, especially this guy, he sits, that's his indication, so he's saying, hey, there's drugs inside this car, so we throw the ball at the source of the odor. So they truly think that their ball is inside that car, and when it hits the car and bounces off, he thinks it's popping out. So he's smelling the narcotics, but it's really the only thing he wants is that ball.
Yes.
So it's a cool way that they train them.
And that's what I was going to say. That's how they train them.
Yep.
Is to get them to eventually they do know that there's not a ball in there, obviously, and that they're getting a treat because it's the others that they're finding.
Yeah. So he truly thinks the ball is coming out of there. If he smells, he's trained on cocaine, heroin, and meth. So if he smells one of those odors, he knows that ball is coming. And so he starts salivating, his breathing starts changing, and he has a bunch of different odor alert behavior with the breathing or working the scent. So it's
poor guy. What's he like living with him?
just like this. So
Just like this.
He has a big run in my pole barn that he just gets to run around, but then at night.
Because high energy. You said high energy.
High
so
energy.
what is it that you do when you? Because he is in the cruiser.
Yep. If he's in his space, he can calm down. So if we're home, he sleeps a lot because in the run, or if I put him in a kennel, he sleeps a lot. But if he's out, he's only been in. He has a wing of the house to himself because
I bet.
he's broke computers, he's broke TVs, he broke keyboards because he can't stay off of things.
Yeah.
But
And you say that, and he gets up on you.
He's a total sweetheart. So I have 2 young kids, and he's just an absolute angel to him. Especially my youngest boy just adores him. So he can kind of turn it down, but he's still just a spaz. So the few times I've let him in the house, he's just all over the place. And
Do you have to continue training him and
that's
ongoing?
Yep. So the sheriff's office is fortunate too. So a lot of agencies only get trained twice a month, where our chief and the sheriff believe that the dog needs continual training. So
consistency.
Yep. So they bless us 4 times a month. So we're training once a week, and then we do additional training at the house. Or if we're bored at the department, it's raining, we'll do additional training. So it's just a constant. And Jordan Webb, obviously used to be a handler. His biggest thing to me when I got out of school, he goes, you're either training or testing. So there's no just, even when we're throwing the ball, it's still testing. It's still his obedience of coming back to me. We play tug with the ball, he drops the ball, that's still training. So there's no, if he's out of the car, he's out of the kennel, he's training in some facet.
Yeah. Do they have female and males, or does it make a difference when it comes to what they're choosing for?
Everybody's different. The female, so Rafa is a female. The females are a little bit more difficult because you can't fix them for the first 3 years, or their bone structure gets a little bit messed up. So you have to deal with the.
That's okay. I was expecting. I was kind of ready. Hey, you know what? Again, animals.
So you have to deal with the heat, and generally they are smaller.
You said he's got his own wing.
Oh, yeah.
And this is why.
Yeah, that is exactly
Makes
why.
sense.
The males, they think have a higher drive, but that's been proven that it really doesn't matter. It's all what you're needing for that time.
Yeah.
A lot of the males tend to be bigger, where the female mallees are typically a lot smaller. But
So when you're out in public, is it okay for people and kids to come up and approach you with Omega?
oh, absolutely. Generally, and it depends on what task we're doing. If we're just doing a vehicle search, I typically will run the vehicle, and then if kids are around, I even ask them if they want to pet them, just because it's good PR, it's good for the kid, it's amazing for him, because there's what we call hot dog that thinks every person is a bad guy, and
Yeah.
and he's just a total sweetheart, so I want to keep it that way.
Yep.
His favorite game is
socializing is important. Yep.
His favorite game is to find the bad guy during training. But the cool thing with them is they can bite the bite suit or the sleeve, and you can pet him right after. Like there's no aggression. It's just a game. It's a toy.
Well, and it's teaching him what the bad guy is.
Yep.
You know, it's usually the runner, I would imagine,
Yep.
and the one that's trying to hide, or things like that.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah, you would normally
Yeah,
make
so-
that as a serious thing, and people aren't, if they're going to come up and pet him, they're not the one that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
we just
so-
get done with the building search that he is trying to find somebody,
Yeah.
then I'm just gonna say not today, because he is gonna be a little bit elevated.
Oh,
It's-
gotcha.
It's not
I
fair
gotcha,
to
yeah.
him to make him flip that switch immediate.
Well, hi.
So, but generally, 95% of the time, I really enjoy people petting him. And people allow it to happen.
Yeah, but always ask. It
Yep,
is always.
always
I
ask.
think that's
Yep.
out of respect for you, of course, as an officer,
Absolutely.
and for K9. Yes,
absolutely.
Omega. So, anyways, thank you so much for being here with me
Oh,
and bringing Omega. And
not a problem.
it's been a treat. Omega, he's all about that ball that you've got there in your vest.
Oh, yeah.
So, and good luck with everything. And
I appreciate it.
folks, don't go anywhere, because we have another K9 coming up next that is from the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, and you had mentioned the name, and we'll be right back. So.
For the last 30 years, I've worked in Fairfield County. The beauty of working in this county is it's small enough that you get to know people on an individual level, that you get to do the kind of work you want to do personally, but it's large enough that we have some resources and we have some ability to bring coalitions together to make some bigger changes.
You have the benefits of a suburban community, and Columbus isn't too far away if you want to get that urban experience. Plus, if I ever feel like I need to get away for a little bit, there's tons of great hiking around here.
Well, Fairfield County is just a really different county, so it's very resource rich. There are so many people in similar and overlapping helping fields. They make excellent community partners.
We all know each other and we don't compete with each other. Like agency-wide, we're all here to serve our clients, and you know someone everywhere, you know what I mean? And so that, I just feel like that helps it to get our clients the best care. So that's a big thing for me.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I have a sergeant from the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. His name is Sergeant Michael Ash, and I'm so excited to have him on with me. He has been with the Sheriff's Office. We're going to find out for how long here in just a minute. How many years have you been in law enforcement? You may not have started out with the Sheriff's Office.
Law enforcement, about 23 and a half years with the Sheriff's Office up here. I'm in my 22nd year.
Holy cow. I did not realize that you had been
I'm that old,
that
yeah.
many. Yeah, that's it. No. And the reason why I say that, folks, is I have known him of him, and our paths crossed a long time ago. Not that many years ago, but a long time ago, because we were talking about that you have somebody that was in wrestling many years ago. And for folks who are not familiar with wrestling, and those who are, you know what I'm talking about, when those can be some long days and you get to know people.
Yes.
Because you sit and it could be for hours and hours at one wrestling meet, if it's a tournament or not, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you get to know a lot of people. So that's when our paths had crossed. But, however, I knew that you had worked in law enforcement, and then my daughter, who goes to the same school, obviously, as and my son, as your kids do, and she sees you from time to time, and she brought you up one day, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I reach out. So here's the funny thing, folks. If you caught in the last segment, I had made a comment about it maybe being it was going to be my canine special. As you can see, he does not have a canine with him, and he is not a canine himself. So anyways, with that being said, yeah, he walked in the door, and I was like, I don't want you. I'm thinking, I don't want him here anymore. Why is he here? I was just joking, but I am so glad that you are here as one of my first responders of the month. I always look up to what you all do in law enforcement or our firefighters, and we've got so many amazing people in the community, and I just know that you are a good guy, I think. His wife might beg to differ, but we'll have a conversation with her maybe another time about that. Why did you decide to go into law enforcement? Right? Why did you decide to?
Law enforcement for me actually was a second choice. Coming out of high school, I was driven wanting to play college football. And even though being, on the smaller side, I knew that potentially going to a smaller school was an option. But I was missing a couple classes out of high school, so I ended up at Hawking College. Took this as a backup plan, just in case the other thing fell through. As we went through the classes, I just started enjoying and really kind of felt like I was... It was kind of a calling or something like that, like I'm kind of meant to do this, and just stuck with it. And, went through the 2-year program down there for Hawking, did the police academy, and started working.
Really? Yes. And right out, you just you knew that those was what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life.
And to this day, I still have the passion for it and
nice.
The drive, and, been fortunate enough to have several different opportunities passed my way and been able to get involved in it.
What has been your favorite thing about being in law enforcement to date? Is there one favorite thing? I know some people are like, oh, there's a lot that I like about,
I think there are a lot, but I would have to say go back to what my ultimate passion is right now within the law enforcement side of it, which is the tactical element of it. So being part of the SWAT unit with the guys, having been a member of that now for 18 to 19 years. And that is the side of it, the tactics, the camaraderie, the teamwork, and everything that I would have gotten back in the day from those sports and everything that I was involved in. Still find it there.
The SWAT, is that only the Sheriff's Office?
So we are a multi-jurisdictional team comprised of the Sheriff's Office, deputies, and supervisors, as well as the Fairfield Medical Center Police. Have 3 people on the team, and then the Pickerington Police Department also has some of their police officers and supervisors that are part of it as well.
What is it like working with other departments like that and coming together?
In that element, like the Sheriff's Office is ultimately responsible for everything that happens within the team. Everybody that's involved in the team from the outside agencies are, they understand that, and they understand that there is the leadership elements and everything in it, and they accept it, and they understand that their voice, we listen.
Right.
It's not just do as I say, it's what we think.
What were you most surprised about when you got into law enforcement that you didn't realize until you were in the job?
I should have probably paid a lot more attention in English class and learned punctuation and things a lot better in writing.
Yeah, and for what reason?
The documentation is huge. I mean, it really, really is. And but over time, you learn and you adapt to it and just learn to make yourself better and ask questions.
So, parents, you have any youth out there that says, I want to grow up and be a police officer, you say, you better get better at your English and your writing and your spelling, and hand it back to them. And not that you want to discourage them not to go into law enforcement. However, there are some who it's in their blood and they're born in it, and they're just going, well, that's what I'm going to do. So just tell them, you got to start writing correctly. That's so funny that you say that. Do you have any accolades or anything so far that that you've reached that you're just proud of?
I mean, with the promotion was a huge stepping stone.
And what do you do now? Because I know you said sergeant, but what is it exactly that you're in now that you just started?
So recently, at the beginning of the year, I took over a new position, which is being in charge of all the school resource officers that are under the umbrella of the Sheriff's Office for the entire county. So picking up every school district with the exception of just a couple is... I'm in charge of all them, so I do a lot of driving and a lot of following up. And
so were you a school resource officer?
No.
You weren't.
This is my first involvement with school-related events outside of working sporting events or dances and stuff.
Yeah.
This is brand new.
Yeah. So why did you decide to pursue this part of it in your career?
So the position, with some changes that they were making through the office, this position had come available, and they wanted supervision over it, and they came and asked if I would be interested in it.
Nice. Well, because you've been out on the street and on the road, right? The majority of the last 20 years, 20-some years.
Yeah.
How has that been, like, what a change I would think that would be.
It's huge.
Now it's like you were doing that and you're out there, looking and catching and doing and things like that and protecting. But now it's a different way. You're overseeing a group of men and women that are in the schools.
Yes.
And overseeing the kids.
It is a huge change.
Because that also probably you have to stay up on with their training for what they need to be in those schools.
So with that, and then also because they're within the schools, there are the contracts and stuff with them, so I have to be familiar with that.
Oh, that part of it. That
so there's the administrative side of
the
things.
Administrative, yeah.
And then honestly, just learning, who those administrators are and what their expectations are of our school resource officers, and if they have any concerns or things, if that maybe our school resource officer can't handle, is going to fall, not going to say down, but it's going to go up to me, and whatever it is I can try to do to accommodate that or fix whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
So training is one thing, or it might just simply be conversations, or the schools right now, one of their big things with the climate of society is like their risk assessments and things that they do through the schools right now. If there's issues or concerns of potential bigger things happening, I think this would be probably the best way to say it. And understanding what they're looking at. For me, looking at a law enforcement side, it's always just drive and go get the bad guy. Where here on this side, it's we want to help.
Yeah.
We need to strive to keep these kids in school, to keep them motivated to further their lives and kind of go that direction.
And safe too. I mean, overall,
100%.
Because aren't you considered part of that as the security, school resource officer for the kids? But is it also the overall safety of the school as well?
So each officer that's in any school, that is their prime function.
Yeah. That probably has to change sometimes.
And what I have found is we're just simply with their presence with a lot of different schools, they have notated that their incidents within schools, like just simply a couple kids getting into a fight, the percentages have dramatically dropped just with the simple presence of the deputies being there.
And it's not that it's putting the fear in them, it's that the deputies, and they're special men and women to do this, building those relationships with the kids that know that they can talk to them.
And that's probably, I'm going to say, number 2 or a close one on the list, because every resource officer that I've followed up with since being in this position, that's one thing that they talk about is I get along with the kids so well. And that's even all the way to the high school level with ones you would think that really just don't care. They are establishing relationships with the whole student body that's willing to accept that.
Right. And it's just, I talk sometimes about me helping out and working at like the detention center, but it's just like the detention officers that are there. If a youth says, hey, I need a break or I need a cool down, that's what you want that relationship to be with the kids out in the public schools. Hey, things aren't cool. Can we go talk? Right? I mean, not that they're a counselor, but I mean, that's what you're there to build that bond with
just
them,
to see him
know that
as
somebody's
another
listening.
person, just another human.
Yeah, and that you're willing to be there to listen,
Yes.
or the school resource officer is.
Exactly.
Well, goodness gracious, I didn't realize it had been so many years. That is really awesome. Are you retiring anytime soon since you have a new job?
No, not yet.
No,
I
not yet.
still got a few years under my belt.
You're going to still keep on learning, right? Keep on growing.
I'm hoping.
Good for you. Good for you. Sergeant Ash, just being First Responder of the Month, thank you so much for what you do, and good luck with all of that, because that's really cool stuff right there, because it changes as time goes on, and you can, you've got this, man. No, I know you do. That's why you're doing it.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Folks, don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. It's Downhill with Tina.
Dagger Law has more than 110 years of experience in nearly every aspect of the law. When we're not just helping clients, we're helping the community. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and around town, because we live and work here too. We are your neighbors, and we want to help you when you need it. When we help each other, we're stronger. Our community is stronger. Creating a strong, vibrant, healthy, and safe community is everyone's responsibility, and we take the responsibility seriously. We are local, we are trusted, we are experienced.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Downhill with Tina is brought to you by these amazing sponsors. If you'd like to be a sponsor, all you got to do is just send me an email at downhillwithtina@gmail.com. Folks, you can also watch me on YouTube. You can also watch me on Your Hometown Connection, YouTube. Also, you can watch me, of course, my Facebook page, Downhill with Tina. And if you happen to know of an inspirational person that you would like to have highlighted on the show, don't hesitate to send me an email, again, at downhillwithtina@gmail.com. I wanted to just share with you a little bit about some things that I have done. I mention it often. Being a life skills teacher and stuff, I've learned a lot with the different kids that I've worked with at a detention center. And I like to think that they've learned a lot from me as well. And recently, if I have students, there are certain things that I can say and certain things that I don't say. Well, they know me as somebody who is a Christian, and I think a lot of you who follow me and watch the show know me as that as well. So I just wanted to share a couple of things with you that I think are very, very important when raising kids. And this can be, anybody I think can really help with it. Some of you may beg to differ, and I respect opinions and stuff. However, a couple of things that I think that I did do right as a parent, because are any of us perfect? There's no handbook telling us what is the right way to do something and what not to do. But there are two things that if you do anything, and I told my youth the same thing. My ex-husband, now, when we were raising my kids, they are both adults now, we sat at the dinner table as many nights as we possibly could. I didn't grow up with a dinner table because our house wasn't big enough. We did not sit around the table and pray. I just think that it's something very important that you sit around the dinner table and have dinners the majority of the nights of the week if you can, because there were many nights that my daughter and my son did not say anything about how their day was. Like, I don't know, but it's just having that opportunity to be able to talk to us at that time. And then also the other thing is pray at night with them. Every night we prayed. Those are two things that I think have helped my kids to be where they are today, because we're going to make mistakes as parents, but those are very important. Folks, thank you so much for watching me and following me. Please share on those social media outlets the show. I hope you have a great week. God bless and good day. It's Downhill with Tina.